How's it going, guys? Rob here, and welcome to my new setup version. I lost count. So if you guys have seen my previous setup video, you saw how I had everything set up on the other side of the room, but previously I only had that little corner of the room and it was wide open in the back, so it was a bit difficult to record anything from the other angle because you would see the whole open basement behind me. And what we did recently is decided that we're going to move this setup to the, okay, well, that's not exactly true. What we decided is we're going to create a nice big play area for our daughter, and what that forced me to do is move my setup to the other side of the room, which actually worked out really well because now I'm in this kind of, not an enclosed space, it's still open on the sides, but it feels more like a specific room for my setup, like a stream room, let's say, because I have a wall behind me now that creates this whole backdrop effect. So I'm gonna go through my setup, talk about what's changed, talk about what I kept, what's different, and what I'm using for my daily driver for everything. So I kept the desk that I had, which is the Ikea 98-inch Karlby butcher block countertop, and I have those resting on the same two Ikea drawer units that I have. However, I did make one adjustment and I added, I know this was like a trend a few years ago, but I'm late to the party, so sue me. I added these 2-inch risers, which are like obviously couch legs, but put them upside down and they become risers, so they lift the desk by about 2 inches. However, one oversight when it came to this. So the Ikea desk is 98 inches long, so I have two of the ADILS leg supports in the middle just to prevent it from any curving. And the ADILS aren't really adjustable, so I couldn't extend them 2 inches to reach the ground to kind of give support in the middle of the desk. So I had to find a very creative and Canadian solution to the problem. So I needed two inches, a little more than 2 inches to add. A hockey puck is exactly 1 inch. So in the meantime, I've got two hockey pucks underneath each leg to give support to the desk. So it works. Obviously, eventually I would like to get the longer legs to put it, but for now, honestly, this works really well and I kind of like the look of it for some reason. So now let's talk about some of the peripherals and extras around this part of the setup. So on the side over here, we have just some basic soundproof panels that I got on Amazon that had good reviews. To be honest, I just find them aesthetically pleasing. I don't know how much better it makes the sound vibration in the room and the echo. I'm hoping it makes a difference. So I have those on the sides here and on top just to help with some sound dampening. Let's move on to the keyboard. The keyboard is the Akko, whatever you want to call it, 3084 with the Ocean Star pattern with the neon keycaps that I put. I made a video on this keyboard in the past. Absolutely love this keyboard. It's a TKL board, but it doesn't have any spacing between the keys for the arrow keys or the keyboard, so it's a bit smaller footprint than a classic TKL board. I really enjoy it. It's got the red switches. Everything is fantastic. Absolutely love this board. And I have a nice, just a basic black coil cable with it. As for the mouse, I am still using the Razer Viper Ultimate, the original, the version 1 mouse. I did a review on the V2 and I said my piece with that. I like the mouse, but like I said, I've had a bit of issues with kind of the upgrades and the pricing that Razer went with, so I decided to stick with the version 1. Absolutely love that mouse. I have some mics as backup, but that's really my main one. I love the dock that it comes with for charging, and that's not going anywhere. So the mouse pad, I'm using the Linus Tech Tips LTT mouse pad that they sell. I love it. The size is great. It's nice and thick. It dries really well. I have no issues with it, and it matches the aesthetic of my keyboard and neon keycap, so I really like this mouse pad. I'm thinking of getting actually a few more. Let's move on to a bit of the audio section of my setup. So as for the microphone, I'm using the Rode PodMic, and I have a mic booster attached to it just to give it a bit more of a lift to the gain without distorting the sound. So a lot of people might use a cloud lifter with a mic just to get some more volume. I prefer this little attachment because it's more aesthetically pleasing. It plugs directly to the mic and it's connected to the Scarlett Focus 2i2. Which has phantom power, which is required for the mic booster, not for the mic. So the Rode PodMic could work without phantom power. However, the mic booster requires phantom power. So having the Scarlett 2i2, just fantastic. I'm able to control the volume. I'm able to adjust the gain. And if ever I wanted to attach some audio monitors, I'll be able to do that easily into the same audio interface. For my headphones, I've been using the Sennheiser HD598SR for a very long time. I absolutely love them. The open back design helps me to hear what's going on around me. If ever I need to go check in my daughter, or if ever she needs help with something, I'm just aware of my surroundings while having a great soundstage in games. So absolutely love these headphones. So now moving on to what's powering the whole system. So my gaming, editing, content creating, whatever you want to call it, my PC that I have over here. So a couple of months ago, as you saw, if you watched the video, I did update my PC, and now the main components are basically a AMD 5950X Ryzen 9 and a RTX 3090 from Zotac. So that's what's powering everything behind me. That's what I use for content creation, for streaming, for editing, for work. Everything is basically powered off that one system. So I've done that upgrade pretty recently, and I kept my second PC that I kind of put back together as a home theater PC. So I have that on the other side of the basement hooked up to my TV. I had thought about using it as a streaming PC, but honestly the 5950X, and for the amount that I stream and the amount of viewers that I get, which is like 4, I don't think it's worth dedicating a whole second PC to streaming just yet, maybe one day, but for now, I'm good with a single PC setup. It makes things really easy for me, especially with the triple monitor action that I have going on behind me, so that goes really well. Now let's talk about those monitors, because as you guys can see, there's 3 monitors, 2 at the bottom, 1 at the top. So let's go from top to bottom. So the top is the Alienware AW3418DW, so 34 inches, 120 Hertz G-Sync compatible IPS curved display from Alienware, 3440 by 1440. I absolutely love that monitor. That was my main monitor for a very long time, and I still use it as kind of like the main viewing experience monitor. And if I want to just lay back and play some games in full ultra wide resolution, that's the one I use. So that's the one that's right on top, and at the bottom I have 2 27-inch monitors. And the reason I have 2 27s at the bottom is because I find it more aesthetically pleasing when the bottom is obviously larger and then the top kind of like this triangle or pyramid shape. And the reason why I have the 27 inches on the bottom instead of the ultra wide is the one here behind me. That's a 2560 by 1440 Dell S2721DGF, I believe. 1440p, 165 Hertz, mostly used for FPS games, but also when I stream, it's a lot easier to stream to Twitch in a 16:9 ratio instead of a 21:9. And then this one here is kind of just used as, you know, just the one I have for OBS and stuff on the side. It's just an IPS 27-inch monitor from HP, 60 Hertz, 1080p, really nothing special. So that's one that I'd like to maybe swap out to a 1440p resolution in the future, just to make the resolution on the whole setup uniform. But the layout, having a triple monitor like this, is really enjoyable because, just to give you an example, when I'm streaming and I'm staring into this monitor for gaming, I have OBS on the other 27-inch, and then I have my Twitch chat right on top, which is great because when I'm looking at chat right on top, I'm kind of facing the camera, so my head doesn't have to move to the side when I'm looking at chat. So you're not forced to look at this angle. You get to see my face the whole time, which is a plus for some people, and I'm sure negative for others. So in terms of lighting for my setup, I have some old LED strips that I used to have in my PC a while ago that I hooked up behind the desk. Now these ones are not controlled by an app or anything. It's just old school with a remote, right? So if you want to get like a different color, blue, green, red, pink, whatever, it's all done through the remote. So you kind of limited to the color adjustment that you have, but I find that it gives a nice little aesthetically pleasing backlight to the setup. Besides, when I'm streaming, it's more important what's behind me than what's in front of me. But when I'm recording a video like this, I can still control some lighting. Now I also have on the side here, I'm not sure if it's gonna stay here, I got the Govee lamp. This Govee wall floor lamp LED controlling thingy, which is really nice. I keep it on the side to the moment just to give a bit of light refraction off the walls. I'm not sure if that's going to stay there or not, but that is really a fantastic little light. Right now, there's just a little ring light there from Amazon. There would be a camera there, but I'm using it right now to record. So when I'm recording a video, I take the camera off and then I put it back when I stream. And I'm just using the Canon EOS Rebel SL2. I've had this camera for a while. It doesn't do 4K, it just does 1080p 60, which is exactly what I need for now. Like, this video is in 1080p 60, and when I stream, it's in 1080p 60, and having a camera like this versus a webcam is going to give you much better color accuracy, sharpness, and it's just going to give you a better resolution overall. So let's just turn things around. I'm going to go over kind of what's on the backdrop behind me and kind of the background that you'll see when I'm streaming. If ever you guys wanted to join one of my live streams when I'm gaming, right now I'm playing Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice, which is a funny name because I've already died 9,000 times. Okay, so this is kind of the opposite side of where I was filming before, and this is kind of what I was mentioning about this room, is that it's still wide open on the sides, but now that I'm here, I kind of have this wall behind me that creates the effect that I'm in my own dedicated room. So when it comes to recording while I'm streaming or recording while I'm on my PC, behind me you kind of see something instead of just having an off angle where it's looking at a corner of a wall with nothing interesting. This way I could have the camera directly in front of me and you guys could see a bit what's behind me. So let's talk about what I have behind me here as kind of like backdrop, but also talk about one of the advantages to doing it this way and having everything in one PC and then having it more empty over here. So like I said, first off, it creates this nice little background here and it gives me a secondary recording scene or background or something. And if I'm reviewing, let's say a keyboard, a mouse, a monitor, whatever it is, I could bring this desk forward, clear out the stuff that's on it because nothing is really connected to anything, and then I could just sit behind the desk, talk to you guys, and review a keyboard a bit more comfortably with a nice little backdrop behind me. So probably one of the first things you notice about this backdrop is the Govee wall lights here. Super easy to connect. Like I said, I'm really enjoying the Govee ecosystem. I have a couple of their smart bulbs, I have the floor lamp, and now I have the wall lights over here. They attach with command strips that are pre-applied to the strips. You get 6 pieces and a 90-degree piece over here, so you could create this triangle. You could create kind of anything you want with that connector. You could create one little angle like this, do whatever you want, and if you purchase more, you could connect them and have really crazy effects. They're really bright. So this right now is at 1% brightness. Now I'll go in the app and I'll put 100% just to give you guys an idea of the brightness, but on camera it shows a lot more than it is. So like I said, right now this is at 1% brightness. So, and yeah, I don't know if you could tell, but like you see the light bleeding, and you could change the scenes to effects to whatever you like. So you could have stuff like this where everything's moving. The pre-applied ones, obviously you could build your own. There's a lot of pre-applied ones and I find they're really cool. So you could even have something like this, which is more just candlelight. You could have what I have, the dream light. You could have fireworks. You could have all these effects happening behind you. You could have a police siren, which is like almost like requires a warning for epilepsy. But you could have whatever. They have Valentine's Day. They have some funny stuff. So you could have like it's called bouncing ball. So it just looks like a ball that's bouncing around. Anyway, so a bunch of different things and whatever you want to create yourself. So on the side here, I put my keyboards on display. I figured it'd be easy if ever I wanted to swap them out. And they don't take up too much room. I find they look pretty cool and it just makes me always look at them to remember what I have. So I have the Aukey KMG12, I have the Durgod K320, I have the Fnatic low profile, the Streak 65, and I have the SK64S. Then I have here the special edition Mass Effect Andromeda Logitech, G933 wireless headphones. I don't use them. They're really just if ever I wanted to like maybe play on the couch and use them without speakers. For some reason, I rarely use them, but they are my only wireless set of headphones. So if ever I do need a wireless set, that's the ones I use. I have a Xbox Scuff Elite custom controller that I actually do use when I play on my PC for games like Cuphead, Fall Guys, Rocket League. That's the controller I use. So I have the wireless adapter. It's a custom Scuff controller that I've had for a very long time, which is funny because I've never actually owned an Xbox. But other stuff that I have behind me, I decided to put up some of my retro consoles. I have one or two more, but these are really the ones that I guess stand out the most and that I would just pick up and actually plug in whenever I want to use them. So it's easy access for me, but it's a nice little display. So the N64 Mario Party 2 is in there now, but I have a ton of games for that. And then I have my original Super Nintendo with Super Mario World inside. It just I find it looks good. I like looking at them and it's very easy access. I don't have to throw them away in a drawer or anything like that. In between, I have a really good candle that my wife had got me for my birthday, I believe. It smells really nice, just aesthetic and pleasing. I have the little Groot over there with a fake plant from Ikea. Inside, I have this remote control card that I got at a trade show a long time ago. I just find it really cool because it's one of those that never gets stuck. It could go forward, backwards, lateral, left, right without turning, or it could just like strafe left, strafe right. And then I also use this area as storage for my golf clubs because I love golf and I love looking at my golf clubs, so why not? I enjoy it, and I find that it fits really well here instead of just in a garage or something where it could be susceptible to dust and other stuff. So it just helps me maintain them and keep things clean. So another thing that I like about this behind me is that this desk here, as you guys could see, it's the adjustable one. If I could press the button here, it would help if I plug it in. Okay, so as I was saying, another thing I like about this desk is it's very easy for me to empty it if I need to review something. And I could bring it forward, I could take shots of a product, wrap around 360. But also, if ever I want to do a PC build or something, as you guys can see, it is adjustable, it goes up and down. So it makes things a lot easier for me to record a video if ever I need to. Not that I need to create this whole backdrop or scene or setup for me to record just videos, but it's nice to have the option to make things easier. So now having a dedicated area where my PC is and everything is on that side of the room, I have this side of the room to help me create a secondary scene, a backdrop for videos, and use this table to make it easier for me to either review a product, record shots, build a PC, whatever it is. It's kind of like a jack of all trades table. It helps me do so many things, and it just makes my life a lot easier. So that'll do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this setup. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas. Did I have any missed opportunities that I should have done? What do you guys think of my thought process with this setup? Did you guys enjoy something like this? I'm obviously going to keep trying to throw a variety of stuff your way. So if you guys like this video, please hit that like button, consider subscribing. If you're not following me on Twitch, you can. I live stream maybe 3-4 times a week, mostly campaign players like God of War, Sekiro. Right now we're going through Sekiro, as I mentioned, so that's twitch.tv/robscorner. And yeah, I hope I will see you guys there, and I will catch you next time.